Greetings, fellow interloper. I call myself Taylor, and I love No Man's Sky, what can I say? This video is all about making an awesome game better, with 12 suggestions that range from quality of life to outright major changes and everything in between. But first, I'd like to give a big shout out to today's video sponsor, Game More Real Estate.
Are you looking to get out of that single-room craptastic base you're currently calling home? Well, look no further than Game More Real Estate. Hi, I'm Jason Gamemore, and if you love bases, then you're gonna love me. Did you come home to find all your stuff out in the street? You're covered. Your selfish landlord got you by the comm balls? You're covered. Or maybe you need a place that doesn't require S-Class hazard protection. Well, guess what? You're covered. Here at Game More Real Estate, we don't play favorites. We treat every wealthy traveler the same. And if you're not completely satisfied with your purchase, we'll find something more expensive for you. That's a Game More guarantee. Game More Real Estate. We have all your bases covered.
And if that voice sounded familiar, you're probably spot on, because that was the one, the only Jason Plays, friend of the channel and one of my favorite No Man's Sky content creators. In my imaginary world, Sean and his team will see all these suggestions and implement every single one of them. And I'm not even charging for this.
This means a lot to me, means a lot to the team.
Oh, I mean, it's nothing.
Thank you so much. We're really lucky.
Sean, it's fine. I love playing the game. Despite how I seem irritated in this video, I do love this game. Trust me. These are in no particular order, but I will say that some are definitely more nitpicky and neurotic than others, so I decided to save number 1 for my biggest request, probably ever. It would be awesome if it was actually taken into consideration. What do you think, Sean?
No.
Well, that's a little bit of a buzzkill for the video. Alright, coming in at number 12 is a quality of life suggestion. So when you purchase or mine something, if you already have that in your inventory somewhere, it should just get added to what you already have. So you can see I have some ferrite dust in the high capacity area of my exosuit, right? If I were to mine or buy some more, it doesn't join the current stack I have. It goes into my exosuit main inventory. So now I have 2 slots taken up by the same stuff when it could just be consolidated into one. So if you're one that likes to stay organized, you're going to find yourself constantly shuffling around duplicate ingredients from your main to your high capacity inventory, just to free up a slot. This may seem like a super easy thing to do, which it is, but when you're constantly having to move and consolidate, it can just get old really fast, especially when you're in the early game and trying to maximize your inventory. So anything you already have should automatically be the place where whatever you're adding gets stored, not automatically into the main area of your exosuit. This could be especially helpful with many of the items that only stack 5 in the main and 10 in the high capacity area, like larval cores, crystal sulfide, that sort of thing. Now, number 11 is regarding our saves. Not that long ago, you were limited to only a few saves and had to constantly delete certain ones in order to make room for new ones. Well, HG added a bunch more save slots, which made me and a lot of people very happy. What would make this even better is the ability to name your saves. If you're one who loves to bounce between a lot of different saves, you know it can be a challenge at times when, say for instance, you know you have this super awesome shuttle on one of your saves but can't remember which.
I'm picking up your sarcasm.
Well, I should hope so, because I'm laying it on pretty thick.
Or maybe it's a cool planet, pet, or base that you've lost track of. And yeah, most of the time you can look at your gameplay time and figure it out, but I would really love to be able to name a saved game to help with this. Okay, for those of you who are hanging out with me on my second test stream not too long ago, you probably picked up on my disdain for shuttles. So I'm sorry, but I gotta add that to my list for number 10. Give us a reason to buy a shuttle, please. In my humble opinion, the poor shuttle is like that barely touched vanilla ice cream lost among the other flavors at your local Baskin Robbins.
Nobody in the history of ice cream has walked into an ice cream shop and said, "Can I have a vanilla cone, please?"
Those even exist anymore? Sure, some people really like vanilla, but when faced with options like double chocolate, caramel, mocha, crunchy fudge, or coffee lovers better than sex, cake batter delight, the choice for me is clear. So what would this look like? Well, I guess I'd love to see a design overhaul, or at minimum some flair or unique colors being added to give these poor ships a little pop, a little personality. Because the choice of buying a box with wings, or a flashlight are just not doing it for me. Number 9 is another quality of life suggestion. When the refiner is done, the green light turns on. It goes without saying that this light is helpful when you're refining a bunch of stuff and have a lot of refiners going. But when you take out whatever it was that you were refining, the light remains on. My suggestion is pretty simple. When empty, the light should be off. I know there are limits to the amount of refiners you can have, but when you can glitch as many as you want, it can get confusing to keep track of which ones you've emptied and which ones you haven't. I know this may not seem like a big deal to some of you, but trust me, those who have large refining operations will appreciate this little adjustment. Number 8 is a collection of game behaviors. Behaviors that annoy the shit out of me. And if I get annoyed, chances are some of you are too. So for instance, when you've collected enough salvage data, you go up and start unlocking stuff, right? Now a lot of us can gather quite a bit and we'll use it at one time. So we unlock 25 items in one go. I don't really need a distracting and loud reminder going off 25 times to remind me that I just unlocked 25 items literally 30 seconds ago. I know I just bought them. I was there. Please let me get on with my game without the sound of a super annoying alarm clock going off, reminding me that I have new items in my inventory. Sticking with the annoying. Oh, for fuck's sake. Sticking with the annoying theme. Once I've unlocked these items, I appreciate the visual cue with the little exclamation marker in the top right corner. But please, God, make these go away after a certain time. Remember when I said earlier that some of these were neurotic? Well, here you go. This drives me absolutely bananas after a while, and I literally have to hover over each one for a good second before it goes away. At least remove it if I move my cursor over it. Don't make me hang on to each one for what feels like an eternity. And yeah, I'm also a hater of those badges on apps as well. I can't stand to see those little red numbers on things, like how many emails I haven't read. At least you can turn those off. Please, someone else come forward and tell me it's not just me.
Peter Mason, a college senior, having planned an encounter with a young woman whom he finds attractive, then behaves in such a way as to prevent the relationship he wants from developing. We call such inappropriate, self-defeating behavior neurotic.
While I'm on a roll, let's stay with number 8 and the annoying as fuck traits of menus. Please do not automatically pin recipes. If I need to pin a recipe for something, I'll do it. Not that I ever need to, but I suppose that's my point. Now, part of me does get that the newer player might appreciate this type of thing, but at least give us the option to disable that. I can promise you the vast majority of players don't care about pinning a recipe. Of course, I have zero proof to back this up, but I bet I'm right, so there's that. Alright, I'm gonna give you guys a breather from my neurotic rants. Number 7, an old favorite of mine, can be summed up fairly simple. The squid ships, yeah, those. Please make them fly, not backwards. Traveling backwards is cool and all, but I mean, not all of us can look like Dom Toretto, can we? Seriously, HG, this has gone on long enough, and while you had hoped everyone has forgotten about it, well, one guy hasn't. This is honestly a legitimate ask here. Please, pretty please, make the squids fly in the direction that little baby Jesus intended them to fly in.
He was a man. He had a beard.
Look, I like the baby version the best. Do you hear me?
Moving on to number 6 is building related. Wouldn't it be pretty sweet to resize the aquarium or any other part that pokes out through the floor above it? Not gonna happen?
No.
Okay, well, how about a little resize tweak to everything that currently sticks through the floor if it's on a standard one-flight floor? I'd be happy with any of these results. Number 5. Another somewhat petty ask. It would be really nice to control whether or not our solar sails deploy, don't you think? It would be so cool to hit a button and fold them in at will. But if this is too much to ask,
Yeah.
I get it. How about at least folding them in during combat? I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? If I were really engaged in a fight for my life, you can bet your bottom unit that I would be giving that pirate a lot less real estate to shoot up. Those poor sails wouldn't stand a chance. They're practically begging to be destroyed. If you've scoffed so far at my suggestions, maybe this one will win you over. Number 4 is a simple fix which allows us to swap places with another mod on anything we put mods on, like our exocrafts, ships, or multi-tools. So as it stands right now, we are able to do this with items in our exosuit. So here, if I wanted to swap out places with this ferrite dust and carbon, I just pick up the carbon and place it over the ferrite dust. Boom, easy peasy. But say we only have one slot left in our multi-tool, and we'd like to move things around so that when we do add our last mod, it's where it needs to be. You know, with the other mods of the same kind to get the adjacency bonus. So if you want to rearrange things, you literally have to destroy one of your mods so you get an extra slot back to move things around. Just seems like if we can do it with stuff in our exosuit, we should have that same flexibility with mods. Number 3 brings us back to bases. I think it's time we had a serious discussion about terrain regrowth. Seriously, how many times have you returned to a base after being away for a while only to find this? Good times, right? Any terrain that's been adjusted within base limits should remain that way unless we want to restore it with our terrain manipulator. But any terrain outside of our base limits should most definitely grow back. I don't have a problem with that. Coming in at number 3 is more of a current addition. I'm loving all the diversity of fauna Hello Games has implemented all through the recent updates. It's been a lot of fun to add new companions and have different ways to travel if that's your thing. And while I understand we can't ride everything, there is a group of animals that seem like they would be a blast to ride, yet we're unable to. Even when you scan them, it says they produce craw milk, but you can't interact with them. Here, let's get one down lower so you can see how big it is. Hey, is that a Sean Murray statue? Oh geez, look at this. It fell out of the sky. It must have just been an old one. God, look how big it is. I mean, tell me you don't want to ride this.
That's what she said.
I was holding out hope that these large birds or dragons or whatever we're calling them would be finally accessible with the latest update. I suppose I can always hold out hope for that in update 4.0. Why is this such a big deal? Well, have you seen them fly? They haul ass. Who wouldn't want to be on top of one of those bad boys instead of having to call your ship in when your launcher fuel is running low? Now, I know a few of you who have already figured out the trick to this. Unfortunately, it only works on a PC. I don't have a clue how it's done. I just know consoles are left out in the cold here. What else is new, right? Moving on, number 2 is something that I guess I'm surprised it's not happened already, and this is making your pet accessories actually functional. Yeah, I know they can kill stuff with their lasers, but what about all the other stuff? At minimum, it would be awesome for them to have like 5 storage slots if they were equipped with the cargo drum, or mine atmospheric gases with the atmospheric sampler, that kind of thing. Okay guys, we've arrived at number 1. This is the one thing I would trade the other 11 for. You probably think I'm going customized ships here, don't you? I think at this point we're all just kind of waiting for how that's going to happen. So I decided to leave that off the list and go with this one. Because let's face it, we all want customized ships in some capacity. So the biggest ask I can make is this. Give every galaxy type its own set of fauna, flora, ship designs, colors, freighter styles. I mean, the list goes on and on. Bottom line is that at present, the only thing that changes from galaxy to galaxy are how the various biomes are weighted within the galaxies. So something found in Euclid is also found in Galaxy 210 as well. I would love to see some individuality among the galaxy types to really encourage travel and exploration. It's great now, but think of how good it could be. As I alluded to earlier, I know this is pretty much an impossibility, but a boy can dream. I originally wanted every single galaxy to have its own flavor, but with 256, that's a very big ask. So I settled on making the biome types unique from one another. So what are your thoughts, guys? What would be on your dream list to make No Man's Sky even better than it is? And if there's anything you strongly disagreed with, well, I probably don't need to tell you where to put your comments. Well, down in the comment section, of course. Alright, that's gonna do it, folks. Thanks so much for watching. This is Taylor with Whiskey Barrel Gaming, reminding you to have an S-Class day.